Hello, good day. Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. Ooh, the World card just came right out of there. Ooh, nice. Two of Swords reversed, and the World. You're moving on. You're moving on from a time of deep confusion and self-doubt. Why is this in reverse? The Judgment is in reverse because you have not yet met your divine counterpart. Ooh, love offering. Okay, the Judgment card is in reverse because you have not yet realized the shift and the path change that has occurred. Beautiful energy. You are coming out of a dark period, thinking that you don't know what is coming, and you're still kind of down, is what I'm feeling. But this is a love reading, right off the hop here. Love is coming out. So you're about to show up as the Nine of Pentacles, Divine Feminine. You are about to show up as the Nine of Pentacles. You've done the raw inner work. The horn has sound. You are stepping into your divine era. And you have a love offer coming in. Okay, this is what I see. This is why this is upside down, because you are still blinded to the Knight of Pentacles, which means that the universe is giving you your divine match, divine counterpart, and this could be in business. This doesn't have to be specifically for love. I feel business, love, change, just change in general. Yeah. Yeah, getting that, like clearing the throat chakra by saying that, okay? So maybe even hyper focus on love, but Spirit's like saying like all the areas are changing. You are still in the Judgment reverse era because you still have not been able to see what's coming for you. Why? Because you still are not aware of what you actually need. So you are still stripping away parts of ego, so false sense of self, so that you can realize this is what you need. This is what you need. That energy is just coming like a lightning bolt, and I can just feel it like zapping somebody and being like, this is what you need. Zap. This is what you need. Zap. Like the universe is like zapping you right now to kind of like electrocute you, to be like, okay, like wake up. Like you're focused on, not that you're not awake, but you're focused on the wrong thing because your ego has convinced you that is what you need. Okay, and I've just talked about this before, but this is like deeper. So you're not seeing what you're about to have because you still can't see through the ego projections to the thing that you need. So you have false and limiting beliefs holding you back from choosing the path and the thing that you want. What I feel is this could be around spirituality, when it comes to career, it's like I need to do something of service. I need to do something spiritual. I need to do something holistic or natural, okay? And yes, you might identify as a holistic and natural person, but you in your divine power, you are balanced. And when you start to debunk the false light ego, the divine feminine ego, not divine feminine, the feminine ego. I can't even put these down because they're just glowing so bad. So, feminine ego is all about the spiritual ego, okay? And it has to do with like spiritual bypass, and that's a super deadly thing that happens in this world. You know, we see it in religion all the time, but it also happens in the spiritual world of like holistic and everything, where you think you only have to be this. You have to be, you know, over self-sacrificing, of service, kind of like a martyr. You have to be extremely clean and just like, it's just this shiny little bubble, and it's just going to keep you trapped and your limitation, because it's not exactly who you are. It's a piece of who you are, but it's not the whole picture. So when you're, only zoomed in on like one little thing, you can only achieve that. And Spirit's saying like, you are not just that. You are that and more. The rule that I have found with balancing my masculine and feminine energy is that there is truth and false in everything. So you have to find the truth in everything and then find the false in everything. So yes, I am a spiritual being who enjoys being holistic and natural and spiritual, but I am also a physical being that is, human and messy and not perfect and, selfish sometimes and doesn't do everything always like right. And when we can balance the scales between those two realities, it's our inner child and our higher self. It's our masculine and it's our feminine. They both are real, okay? So we remove the false illusion of the self, but we incorporate the authentic shadow, okay? I don't even like to call it shadow because it's not shadow. It's your authentic self. And your authentic self has a dark side. So you remove the shadow, so the shadow comes from ego and it is not you. But then you have to reincorporate your dark side, which everybody has, and it is just, it's not dark. It's the little self. It's the little self side. It says like, I'm selfish sometimes, I feel selfish sometimes, and sometimes I need to be selfish. That's the big energy, and that's energy was coming up this morning. So that's what I'm just going to focus on, because I can feel that like a huge flutter happening here, like a big wave is coming through the collective. I do feel that's the energy happening for this lunar eclipse tonight in Pisces. Yeah, I'm feeling a really new energy coming in right now. So maybe that just woke you up. And then that maybe you can see, okay, I've been suppressing and repressing selfishness. Selfishness? Did I say that right? Because of my spiritual ego. Because of my feminine ego. And this selfishness has blinded me. This lack of selfishness. This repression of selfishness. Like, I don't want to feel selfish because that would maybe block my gratitude. You can feel gratitude and selfishness at the same time. See if you can do it now. Masculine, feminine. That selfishness is just, it's the most protective part of your human. You have a fear of feeling selfish because you have a fear of being ungrateful. Because if you're ungrateful, then you might not receive the things you want, and then you might be in lack. So it's a huge thing, all rooted in scarcity. It's safe to be selfish. Selfishness will help protect what you have and what you need. Okay, my shoulder's hurting. So this is heart chakra energy. So if it is out of balance, it is going to affect your shoulders or your heart, or your lungs. I always feel the lungs are in the throat chakra. So I feel shoulders and heart right now. If you're having any of those kind of issues, if you're getting lots of twitching, like I feel like your eyebrow twitching, okay, any kind of twitching in the body is a sign of blocked energy. Is a sign energy is moving. Which means you're doing something to release energy. So just pay attention to what that is. Right now, I'm like feeling this eye twitch and like a blockage in the shoulder. Stephanie S name is coming through. And then south, like Sumatra or Samara, like a desert. Yeah, I just felt the warmth of the sun. And it's like, you need sun. You need the sun. You need the sun and the beach. You do. Go there today. Yes. 13. 4. 11:44. Icebreaker, groundbreaker. Oh, it feels better. My readings are, anyone who's reading energy, it's an opportunity for a transmission, which means if you're open the energy of the reading can help move you. I'm feeling that right now for somebody. I feel like a tidal wave, and it's like connected to this lunar eclipse in Pisces. Okay, so I'm seeing you. So there's this wave of water like washing over your shoulder, but there's still this rigidity, like this stake in the ground, like, no, I'm not budging. I am not budging. This is my beliefs, and I'm going to hold on to them, and they're mine, and I'm going to do this. Okay? So you have a fear of letting go because you have put all your eggs in one basket. I'm sorry. I'm brutally honest in my readings. I hope you can tell by the way that I say it, I am saying it for your absolute highest good. I'm just helping you illuminate the parts of you that are holding you back to what you're meant to achieve. I know at some points in our lives we can be in a place where, like, anything that tells us we're not doing things right is extremely triggering, especially if we're trying too hard. We're trying really hard, I should say. But that's also generally an indication that we're holding on to something that is not meant for us. Because we don't have to struggle so hard to achieve what we want when it's the right thing for us. It comes naturally. Okay? So if the universe is kind of rejecting maybe what you're doing right now, it's because it wants you to change directions. And that rejection can feel very, very personal and like an attack on your character because you've identified with it, right? Okay. Hugs. I'll feel that. Thank you for sticking it out, whoever what that was for. That flight energy, it's an indication that, something is stressing you out, right? It is a protection mechanism in many ways, but there's also, a self-sabotage element to survival instincts, right? Because when we run away from the truth, it, obviously keeps us stuck in the dark. And I can tell the difference between like when I'm running away from the truth or when I'm like genuinely need to leave, because it's calm. If I'm feeling really flighty, I'm like, okay, I don't force myself to stick out nasty situations, but I'd be like, okay, what do I need right now? I need calm and peace to think about this. So I take my calm and peace and I think about this. Okay, yes, that hurt me because it triggered something inside of me, but I can understand where they're coming from. Maybe I should look into this. Maybe I should just marinate on this and consider this before I completely reject it. What in my life isn't working right now that maybe this, the universe is trying to show me and that I keep ignoring because I don't want to hear it. So this is exactly for work and relationship. I feel the same. I don't know. I'm sure it could fit in other areas of your life, but I feel these two really strong. You're crumbling, like the full out tower crumbling, because your illusion is crumbling, okay? So you have a perception of what you think you want, we'll say, in a partner. You want X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. And Spirit's saying, because you are so close to what has already scarred you, you are hypervigilant to the aspects of the next thing. It's like I'm forcing this out because they don't want me to say it yet. I'm just trying to figure out why. Maybe it's just because it's really thick. Yeah, and they just pointed me at this concrete block. Okay. So this energy is very dense. So then I can tell that it's a blind spot to you. That you're not going to hear what I'm saying right now. Okay, just notice that. Just notice that you are completely blocked all of a sudden from my voice. I feel that. I feel like I am not getting through to you right now. Okay, so that means that you have moved into the blind spot and you can't hear me. Okay, so I'm going to see what Spirit wants me to do. No, it's okay. As soon as you can be in your higher self and acknowledge a blind spot, you start to chip at it. And you'll feel it through like this feeling of, for me, I notice when I'm in a blind spot when I like the energy in the air gets dense. Like I feel like my vision's dense, my feeling is dense, I can't perceive. So then I just like stop and I'm like, okay, where am I? Where am I right now? Okay, I'm in the density. And then I try to visualize myself outside of it. So I try to expand my awareness. I'm like, okay, I can see it now. I can see the boulder. And it's a boulder on your shoulder. And it's thick. This is a thick boulder. Yeah, I feel like somebody just wanted to just like cut it off. But you really have to you have to be aware what you're doing when you're doing energy work or like psychic surgery, right? I mean, it's not gonna kill you or anything, but your fear of having darkness is causing you to want to cut off the boulder on your shoulder, which is just going to make it come back bigger next time. So you have to see it and acknowledge why it's there. curiosity over fear. Why do I have this boulder on my shoulder? What am I ignoring? Boulder on my shoulder. What am I ignoring that the universe is trying to show me? Okay? And that's always what it is. There's always so much powerful information inside of here. And if you just cut it off, you pretty much cut off part of yourself. Okay? Well, you do. Because there's something inside of it that you have to extract that's your truth, that you're repressing. So you're moving it outside of yourself. And then you're mixing it with your shadow. And then you're identifying with half of it. Okay, I see a cord here, and I'm just going to cut it, but it's a good cord. So it's your fear of letting go. And I just felt that. Did you feel that? Because if you felt that, wow, that would be crazy. Wow, nice. That is nice. That is very, very helpful. You didn't cut off the abscess. You cut off the root to the abscess. Okay? And you have to be aware of yourself to know why you're holding on to that. Okay, now I feel like I can say it. I feel like I can get through to you here. I still feel like half of you is blocked like this. There's a mental block right here. And you still can't see me, but there's a little bit of your eye open that can like hear me right now. Okay, so these physical blockages in our energy field, to me they're physical. I mean, they eventually end up physical if they stay there long enough, right? That repressed energy is, when it comes to wormhole, that's where cancer is formed. I'm not saying that you have cancer. Everyone has, it comes and goes, energy fields. But yes, that's where it's from. And we can heal it. No matter what it is, we can. With the enough self-awareness. It doesn't mean that you have the self-awareness to heal it, and modern medicine does help us buy us time while we're figuring it out, okay? Yes, so these physical blockages create mental blocks, okay? They literally block, well, it's in the nervous system, right? The nervous system is the merging of the heaven and earth, right? It is where the physical meets the ethereal. So, it is the energy lines of the body. When we have these physical blockages in our energy field, it blocks parts of our brain. So when you cut them off, you'll feel energy moving through your brain. You'll feel like twitching or stretching. Like, I used to feel this all the time when I was young, and I went to the doctors all the time, and everyone told me I was crazy, blah, 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 blah. And I could just always feel things so physically in the energetic realm that I became a hypochondriac. And finally, when I got in touch with energy, I realized I can feel energy extremely clearly. That is why. It doesn't mean it's physical yet. We don't have the technology to acknowledge it. I think one day we will. I'm not sure if that'll be helpful or not, because we need to be connected to spirituality. That's why they're separate right now. I think, obviously there's energy workers and stuff that help with this kind of thing. But there's so many people who have hypochondriacism that are just sensing energy. And you don't have to worry. If you have hypochondriacism, that means that you are so sensitive to energy that you are getting it like 3 million years before it could ever become something really physical. Okay? And that's also for you, Amy, in your heart. Believe me. You can believe me. Okay, so this energy is like, can you feel the energy change in your body? Still, right now, you might. So when I was young, I always would say, like, I feel crunchy. So right now, we've just moved in a big boulder that was like blocked on ourselves. And this is a collective thing, because the collective is evolving. So we as a collective have shamed selfishness, right? So nobody feels, safe to feel selfish sometimes. And it becomes a whole collective blockage. So when we work with this energy, we're shifting the collective and what is available for the collective mind. So you being here is helping me and us create this. It's still here though, and it's still so thick, and this video is gonna, like, I only have 10 minutes left on my memory storage, but I feel like I'm gonna use all of it. Okay, so, like, can you see this energy? It's crunchy. See if you can feel it. You can feel it in your throat. Like, it's like crystally. It just feels unsettled. Okay, can you feel that? And it's about like this big now. We've like acknowledged this bubble. See if you can feel that. It's dense. It's crystally. It's gonna make you feel like crunchy in your brain. Crunchy. I feel crunchy in my chest. The more you meditate, the more you can become present with the present moment, and the more you'll be able to see. So your mind's not jumping around and losing track of the frequency it's on. Okay, so if you find yourself jumping around right now, getting in touch with your body is when you meditate, if you can just meditate on how you feel, to me that is what we should be meditating for. The only reason. Everything else just falls in line after that. But you can hear it in my voice, this energy field, energy blockage. This is a collective experience, and it has to do with the full moon tonight in regards to selfishness. And Spirit is like giving me a high five right now. So, whoo-wee. Okay, so God just like sent a lightning bolt right into the crack between my left and right hemisphere. And they're showing me a jet that's just like going straight down. Wow. So my path here I've been guided to, I've always been obsessed with balance. I've always needed balance. I've always felt balance. Like I could always like tell, when I was a little bit out of balance, I could feel myself. Like I could, like, oh my thing on my head is just a little bit over. Like I'm using too much of my other side of my body. And then now I have been guided through this journey. It's been like very, very, very intensive work for like the last 4 years of like stitching up the left and the right hemispheres and balancing the internal divine masculine and feminine. And I've learned so much. And I've learned that, right now the world is split into left and right. Spiritual and science mind, conservative and liberal, right? And they're both right and they're both wrong, right? And we have to bring them back together. Okay, that is how we are going to save the earth, or we're just gonna rip in half. So, by creating this balance inside of ourselves, we are helping stitch the fabrics of reality back together. Okay, we moved through that energy, so now I feel like I can talk to you. Okay, so you cannot see your Knight of Pentacles because you have a laundered list of what you think you want and you don't want. And you're being too hypervigilant and too analytical and too rigid in what you think you need. So Spirit is trying to point you towards a new person or career, and you're like, well, no, because the X, Y, and Z. Like, no, 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 I only like blah, blah, blah. And they're like, no, the authentic you, the you that softens and allows, will really like X, Y, and Z way more than you realize. So they're pointing you to the soft road, and you're rejecting it because of the parts that are blinding you from the truth. So you're like, well, I don't like that person, seems weird to me. Why would I ever even try to date them? They seem weird. And Spirit's like, okay, you're in your head and you're projecting your ego. What does your heart say? And you'd be like, holy crap. My heart can see through the illusion that my mind is giving me of that person, and they can see that person. And if I come from my heart towards that person, I could see endless potential with them. And the same goes with career. No, I could never do that. I am this kind of person. And Spirit says, but what if you let go of the false sense of self and just allowed your heart to speak, you would highly enjoy this path we're giving you. Just bask in that energy. Spirit just like showered us in the energy of sovereignty there. I feel like that is where I end. The world will show up when you enter your 0 point, when you start to emit and trust your heart. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.